going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know, it's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47.
I would like to see him stay at 54 and fight Virgil Ortiz.
I'd like to see that too, but the big money is Canelo.
I know.
And why not do it? I mean, what a ballsy move.
Nothing new for Terence Crawford. I want to remind people that, like, getting in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, Terence is not going to see anything that he hasn't seen.
Boxing fans are buzzing as Joe Rogan drops his prediction for the highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Additionally, Joe Rogan commented that the upcoming fight between Canelo and Crawford promises to be intriguing. He pointed out that it's a major leap for Crawford, moving from 154 pounds, which is already a step up from 147 to 168 pounds. While recognizing the difficulty of the increased weight, Rogan emphasized that Crawford is the best switch hitter in the sport, making the fight even more exciting.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know, it's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47. Right?
Now
So it goes to
to
54, and now he's going to
68. 68.
That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
But Terence is, I think he's the best switch hitter since Hagler.
They claim Hagler was my favorite. They claim he's walking around like a $190 or something, and you do know he's a wrestler. So he's got that mentality to him.
He also built up slowly. Like he took his time. Like it's been a long time training for this fight. He came on this podcast more than a year ago, and he was talking about that's the fight he wants.
Nice.
Moreover, he added that after facing Errol Spence and then Israel Madrimov, and knowing he has at least a year before taking on Canelo Alvarez, Crawford has put on significant size. Rogan described Crawford as a slick and highly intelligent fighter, noting how he sets up traps and executes his game plan with precision. However, Joe remained confused because he explained how Canelo is extremely powerful.
And that was a long time ago.
I remember.
So he's been trying to get that fight for a long time. So knowing after he beat Errol Spence that he wasn't ever going to fight at that weight again, and then going up fighting Madrimov, and then knowing he's got like at least a year before he fights Alvarez, he got pretty big.
Yeah, I like him.
I'm leaning Bud. Yeah.
He's slick, man.
Yeah.
He's slick. He's super intelligent. Like, he sets traps. He does stuff. And then, you know, there's a bunch of great breakdown videos of particularly the Errol Spence fight, like him setting traps. It's just, he's a very high-level guy, but Canelo is dangerous. He broke Billy Joe Saunders' whole face. Broke his whole face. What he did to Amir Khan, remember that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Adding to that, Rogan stated that Canelo Alvarez has never been knocked down or dropped in his career, underscoring the challenge Crawford will face in their matchup.
Lordy. Oh, Lordy. And never been down. Never been dropped.
Yeah, Canelo's a stud.
Yeah, Terrence and they rented out the Apex for a while. Was training there. Kids running around. Kids running around all on the mat. I was get these badass kids out of here.
He was using the Apex?
Yeah.
Why was he using the Apex?
I don't know.
Furthermore, Joe Rogan expressed interest in a potential matchup between Terence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz Jr. at 154 pounds, but acknowledged that the bigger money fight lies with Canelo Alvarez, emphasizing the high-risk, high-reward nature of taking on bigger opponents.
I would like to see him stay at 54 and fight Virgil Ortiz.
I'd like to see that too, but the big money is Canelo.
I know.
And why not do it? I mean, what a ballsy move. You go 47 to 54 and you go right up to 68. That's crazy. Because he's really not even at 54.
No.
He's taken the fight at 54. He took Madrimov because it was a big fight.
Yeah.
Wins another world title.
Right. And he won that. People are like trying to discredit. Like, he fought, first of all, Terence fought great.
Yeah.
Madrimov is great. He's a great fighter.
Good, dude.
And fought him differently than he fought every other guy.
Yeah, because
he did fight him differently. Yes.
He's dangerous.
And
he's
Madrimov
big.
is a great athlete.
300 amateur fights. So did Lomachenko. They have hundreds of amateur fights. And by the time they get to the professional ranks, like, this isn't a regular 1-0 guy.
No.
These are guys that they can do stuff that you can't even imagine being able to do.
However, Rogan predicted an exciting showdown between two all-time greats. Crawford, recognized as one of the most skilled fighters in the sport today, would face Canelo, who, while perhaps not the same fighter he was a few years ago, remains a legendary figure with devastating knockout power. This matchup promises a clash of elite talent and experience in the ring.
Listen, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great fight. You're dealing with two all-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive. And then you have Canelo, who probably isn't the same guy as he was just like a few years ago.
Right.
But still one of the greatest of all time, still has brutal knockout power. You know, I mean, if you go back to like some of his, you know, like more impressive fights from a few years ago, like the Amir Khan KO, you know, like the Billy Joe Saunders KO, like those KO, like he's probably not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Building on that, Andy Ruiz weighed in, highlighting the challenges both fighters would bring. While Canelo is recognized for his warrior spirit and power, Crawford's skill, movement, and southpaw stance make him a formidable opponent. Ruiz emphasized that Crawford cannot be underestimated, noting that Canelo has historically faced difficulties against left-handed fighters.
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. But Crawford, man, you can't neglect him, or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
However, Sean Porter reflected on watching Crawford in sparring and came away impressed with what he saw. He noted that Crawford appears to be entering his peak, showing greater strength and maintaining a deep passion for the sport. Porter emphasized that this combination of physical growth and relentless drive makes Crawford a dangerous force in the ring.
You know, my thing when I watch fighters, I want to see what you're thinking. You know, I have the ability to actually look into your mind and see, you know, how that thing is turning, you know. He sparred the day that I went over there and saw him, and when he got out of the ring and we stood there and talked a while, he confirmed everything that I thought I was seeing, you know. So he's verging that peaking process. He's getting stronger, still loving it, which is you know, to me that's the biggest part of it. When you have a level of passion for something, that passion is commanded of you. You know, he's got all that. Went to his house afterwards, and you know, just to see his family, friends, you know, the whole team, everybody staying in the same house, eating the same food. He's comfortable.
In addition, he pointed out that Terence Crawford will not encounter anything entirely new on fight night, as he has been preparing for challenges like these for a very long time.
Nothing new for Terence Crawford. I want to remind people that, like, getting in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, Terence is not going to see anything that he hasn't seen before. No, he hasn't seen this beast on fight night, but he's seen versions of this beast for a very, very, very long time.
While Porter discusses how many people label Bud as a blown-up 147-pounder moving into bigger divisions, the experience and adaptability he brings suggest he is more than capable of handling the test ahead.
Another thing to note is people have said that he's a blown-up 147-pound fighter. If you remember, he said it was hard for him to make 147 when he fought Errol Spence Jr. I was like, yo, how is that possible? I didn't realize, like, he was really doing everything that's needed to gain the weight properly. Most fighters don't know how to gain weight and fit into a weight class properly. He's done that. So it's going to be a great fight.
Meanwhile, Denzel Washington expressed admiration for Terence Crawford while acknowledging the physical advantage Canelo Alvarez brings as the naturally bigger man.
Listen. In our gym, Crawford sits right there and Canelo sits right here. That's why you play the game. We're going to find out. But I'll say this, and I love Crawford. Canelo's a bigger man.
He further noted that Crawford has never faced someone with Canelo's power, yet praised Crawford as a truly exceptional fighter. Washington emphasized his respect for both men and declined to make a prediction, choosing instead to appreciate the greatness on both sides.
He ain't never been hit by a man like this, but Crawford's a great, great fighter. One of the greatest I've ever seen. I love Crawford. I try to be like him. I love Canelo. I can't call it. I won't call it.
When is the fight?
13th.
September 13th.
Who you like?
On the other hand, Roy Jones Jr. analyzed the matchup and suggested that while Canelo Alvarez could secure victory with a flawless performance, Terence Crawford holds a clear advantage with multiple routes to success.
If Canelo fights the absolute correct fight that he can fight, the only correct fight that he can fight, he does have a chance, and I think he could be victorious. If he doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it, Terrence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on the man who has 6 ways to win it over the man who has 1 way to win it.
He assessed that Crawford has several ways to adapt and win, whereas Canelo's chances rely heavily on a single approach, making Crawford the more reliable pick in this contest.
If he don't, he in trouble. If he does, he should be all good.
In addition, Roy added that Terrence Crawford is unlikely to struggle with the added weight, noting that he has put on size the right way. He highlighted that Crawford has already been sparring with super middleweights and light heavyweights, and if he can manage those challenges in the gym, he should be fully prepared to handle them under the lights on fight night.
I don't think Terrence dealing with much of anything, because Terrence did like I did as a heavyweight. He bulked up to the weight. He been dealing with super middles and light heavyweights in training. If you can deal with them in training, you can deal with him in the fight. So the weight should not even be an issue. He is, and not only to mention is he the guy that can, he's already done it. How many 2 or 3 division undisputed champions have we ever had besides Usyk is a 2 division undisputed champ? This dude is a 3 division undisputed champ already, and if he win this, he'll be a 4 division undisputed champ. We may never see that again. See, people don't like to celebrate the reality when it's happening. They'll wait till the person dead and they talk about it. This man is the only 3 division undisputed champion that boxing has ever had.
However, Sean Porter expressed confidence in Terrence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, calling the matchup a close contest, but giving Crawford the edge. He rated the fight closer to a 60% in Crawford's favor and believes Crawford has the tools to secure the victory.
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
he says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. And it didn't take me going to camp to know this.
Okay.
Building on that, Amir Khan highlighted that he is the only fighter to have shared the ring professionally with both Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. He revealed that he has been invited to attend the fight, provide interviews, and share his perspective. Khan also noted his personal ties to both men, describing Canelo as a friend and Crawford as a former training partner.
Only guy that's been in with both fighters. So yeah, I'm thinking of maybe going there. I've been asked to go there and obviously give my input on the fight before they go in the ring. And obviously I know both fighters. Canelo's a friend now after our fight we had, and also Crawford had shared training camp with him as well. It's a good fight. Well, I'm not going to say too much. Okay. I'm going to save it till on the day of the fight.
Moreover, Khan added that the matchup is a massive event and an extremely close contest. He predicted that Terrence Crawford would approach the fight in his usual style, relying on smart boxing, controlled movements, and calculated footwork to navigate the challenge.
Look, Crawford's going to probably do the same thing that he knows best, which is box, be smart, slow movements, small steps. Only small steps he's taking. So I think I mean, look, and it's always worked for him. Every fight he's been in, we thought that the fight with Spence was going to be hard, and he made it look so easy. Now, we've never really seen him in a hard fight where we've seen him in trouble. So maybe this could be the fight that puts him in that trouble to see what he's going to be like when he's under pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've never seen either fighter under pressure, like a lot of pressure. I mean, you can't say...
Maybe Golovkin for Canelo, I guess you could say.
Exactly, yeah, Golovkin, yeah. But other than that, I don't class the Mayweather fight a hard fight, because Mayweather just a runner, wasn't he?
Yeah. Echoing that sentiment, Egidijus Mean Machine Kavaliauskas initially believed Canelo Alvarez's size would be the deciding factor when the fight was first announced. However, as the bout draws closer, his outlook has shifted. He now sees Terrence Crawford's intelligence, speed, and agility as the keys that could allow him to outmaneuver Canelo and take control of the contest.
Right now, my position changed. I think Crawford is too fast and too smart for Canelo. Even Canelo is a good boxer. I'm not saying like nothing from Canelo, but the way when you say oh, he's too big, when you see Usyk fights and what Usyk did to the big guys like Joshua and Fury, so the size of that doesn't matter. I think the skill level matters, and Crawford, he gained weight, but I think he's gonna be even faster, and his head works good in the ring. He's boxing IQ is just on top. So I would say 50-50, but right now I'm kind of leaning more to Crawford.
Mean Machine flipped the script, insisting size won't decide this fight, but rather the abilities each fighter brings to the ring. He pointed out that Crawford has been training hard, looks physically bigger at this stage, and appears both strong and well prepared to meet the challenge.
So I'm just putting an example that size doesn't matter, and like that the fighter makes the fight. I think it's just like that. I see that Crawford's training and that he's big too right now. So he gained weight, but not like, and lots of people gain weight like that sloppy weight, like I would say like fat, but he gained, like, he looked like strong, massively strong. So I think it's gonna be a good one. Crawford, I wouldn't say like his punches was like super strong, but his timing and accuracy is what makes difference. So like there's a guys that throw hard, but they just throw, and he throws like his calculation for the punches and like timing and aiming to the right spots is just like on another level.
In addition, Abel Sanchez described Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford as the biggest fight in years, but predicted that Canelo's size would ultimately prove too much. He argued that Crawford still needs more time to adjust to the higher weight class and further develop at that level. Sanchez also noted that Crawford has yet to face enough elite opponents who could truly test him in the ring.
Well, it's definitely a mega fight. It's probably the biggest fight in a while. As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division and had a difficult time. Difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. And you talk about a guy in Canelo who's really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but that's why we have weight divisions. I think that Canelo has proven as he has risen in the weights, he's dealt with the best in his weight divisions that he's at now. He fought Bivol, and Bivol couldn't hurt him. He fought my guy, and my guy couldn't hurt him in 2 fights. The third fight I wouldn't even count as a fight. But to have a guy come up from 140 pounds in such a short period of time, I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up not only his strength but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15 months that he's done it in, it's going to be difficult for him.
Furthermore, Sanchez pointed out that Canelo Alvarez has consistently dominated opponents who fought below 175 pounds, often making the later rounds look effortless. He predicted that Canelo would be able to control the pace, wear Crawford down as the fight progresses, and ultimately claim a decision victory.
So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions.
Absolutely. I think that anything Canelo hits him with is going to hurt him. He won't be able to catch him early because, like I said, the speed and the foot speed and the hand speed, and Crawford's a heck of a fighter at his own weight. 54 when he fought Madrimov in his last fight showed us that he can't really, the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight he gains and how much he does to try to get up to that level, 168, is going to make a difference.
Adding to that, Chris Algieri assessed that Canelo Alvarez looks to hold the advantage on paper, considering Terence Crawford has climbed 3 weight classes and faced only Israel Madrimov during that rise. Even so, he believes Crawford's mental toughness and psychological edge could be decisive, giving him a strong opportunity to come out on top.
That's not going to be Crawford, and that's not going to be Canelo. They're going to be their peak of what they are at this point. Because again, Crawford is 38 years old. Canelo will be 35 by then. So I think they're going to be the peak for what they are at their ages. But it's easy to go, wow, what have you done for me lately? That's usually how everyone kind of sees everything. So, but I think it's good. I think it makes the fight more enticing if a lot of people are thinking that Crawford can win. And don't get me wrong, Crawford can absolutely win the fight. I'm not saying he can't win the fight. But in terms of, how I see it, it hasn't really changed my thoughts because I know better than to just trust that last thing I saw because there's a lot of confounding factors.
Building on that, John Ryder suggested that Terence Crawford's clearest route to victory would be to mirror the approach used by Dimitri Bivol, relying on constant movement and sharp control of distance.
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, was it 3 weights now? And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, Canelo once done it and made the step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing it.
At the end of the day, the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown has sparked one of the most heated debates. Whether Crawford can defy the odds and climb yet another mountain, or whether Canelo's power and experience will remind everyone why he's a generational icon, one thing is certain: this clash has all the makings of a classic. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat, and we shall see you in the next video with more exciting updates.